Hello everyone, my name is Neng Sylvie, and in this video I will present a journal article related to global Englishes. The title of the article I read is Toward Critical Translanguaging, a review of literature on English as a medium of instruction in South Asia School Education by Pramod K. Shah and Ryuko Kubota, published in ASEAN Englishes in 2022. This article discusses important issues related to how English is used globally and how it impacts to education, communication, or identity. Let's begin with the introduction section of the article. Okay, the article begins by discussing how multilingual practice are traditionally embedded in English medium instruction or EMI classroom across South Asian countries. Despite English being the official medium of instruction, students and teachers regularly use multiple languages, including national, regional, and local languages to facilitate understanding and communication. These multilingual practices are not new in South Asia. They are often labeled using various terms such as code switching, code mixing, translation, or use mother tongue. This research addresses the issue of how uncritical and inequality supported translanguaging may linguistic inequality. While many teachers and students rely on additional language to make lesson more accessible, there remains a deficit view, especially toward the use of tribal, indigenous, or ethnic language. These languages are still seen as inferior or irrelevant, even though they are part of student their realities. In the context of global Englishes, the study highlights how linguistic practice in South Asia EMI classroom reflect broader ideological struggles, including the tension between global English norm and local linguistic realities. It raises the question of whether translanguaging in this context can be transformed method tool for education or simply a way to maintain dominant language ideology under the guise of multilingualism. And the key findings of the study indicate that translanguaging in South Asia ME classroom occurred frequently, yet most often without critical or pedagogical informed intent. Teachers and students use their entire linguistic repertoires, including dominant national language, to supplement English. However, this practice generally excludes tribal or indigenous language, which continue to be marginalized or stigmatized. According to the result, translanguaging practice can indeed support student learning and enhance their understanding of contents as well as their English proficiency. However, the potential of translanguaging is not automatically realized when used without pedagogical awareness or critical understanding. It can reinforce linguistic inequalities instead of erasing them. In relation to global Englishes, English's role in education must be considered in light of local multilingual realities. The study uncovered the need to question whose language are allowed in the classroom and how language choices affect student access to knowledge and participation. Okay, and the article used the concept of critical translanguaging, which goes beyond merely mixing language in the classroom. Instead, it is a politically and pedagogically informed approach that seeks to challenge language hierarchy and promote social justice. Critical translanguaging encourage the intentional inclusion of all language, especially those that have been historically marginalized, such as indigenous of or ethnic language. This study contributes to the discussion on linguistic human rights, advocating for students' right to use their mother tongue in education setting. It argues that true educational equality cannot be achieved unless school makes space for those minorities' language to be used as legitimate research for learning. A major theoretical framework used is that of language ideology. Critique how top-down policies and nationalist ideologies determine which language are considered appropriate or prestigious. Also explain how liberal translanguaging limited to English and national dominant language reflect niche liberal values and reinforce social stratification. The notion of elite bilingualism is central to this study because it explains why only certain forms of multilingualism are accepted in any classroom. In terms of global Englishes, this concept helps explain the unequal distribution of linguistic power in education system, even in settings that appear to be multilingual on the surface. And the conclusion highlights that while translanguaging has the potential to transform educational in multilingual societies, it must be implemented critically and with awareness of socio-political dynamics. It cannot simply be a spontaneous or survival strategy. Instead, it should be a deliberate, inclusive, and empowering practice. One implication of the study is that teachers need training, not just in language pedagogy, but also in socio-linguistic awareness. They must develop critical considerations about how their language choices in the classroom either challenge or reinforce existing inequalities. This study suggests for the future research on how school and teacher can become agents of change by adopting critical translanguaging as a tool for linguistic and educational justice. There is a call for more bottom-up effort to shift classroom practice in ways that honor all student language and cultural identities. For educators, the results may indicate the need to rethink language policy and instructional practice in ME settings. By doing so, they can move toward a more equitable and inclusive form of educational that align with the principle of global Englishes. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for watching my video. I hope it gives you some insight into global Englishes and how English is evolving in today's world. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.